So sustaining, so it's creating and sustaining diversity, that's on your plate at Gibbons.
It is.
We're talking here about, with this panel, about sustaining diversity. Once you have a diverse workforce, how do you keep it is going to be the next question. So let's ask you, first of all, how do you create it at Gibbons? And then how do you sustain it? And then I want to move on to our next generation panelist.
Thank you very much, June. My apologies to the audience. It took me a long time to get here, but I'm supposed to be here. On the concept of creating a diverse, workforce, that's much easier than retaining an inclusive workforce. There are many ways to accomplish that. Certainly the easiest one is headcounts. People track headcounts and they track metrics, and I'm a big believer in metrics. That's not even close enough. That's diversity 1.0. In diversity 2.0, we talk about culture, we talk about creating an inclusive culture, we talk about top-down management, we talk about the concepts of understanding implicit bias and what that represents, understanding the difference between the laws of employment discrimination and the best practices. That's comparing a floor to a ceiling, if you think about it, and that's all great. So in my profession, you also have to understand the culture you operate in. We have an 80% attrition rate 5 years out for you and associates across the board, no matter what your background. So that's a constraint of my industry, the legal industry, right? So if you're trying to affect change, defining what the goal is, right, on the side of retention becomes a very important exercise. Because if your goal is no attrition, then you don't reflect the reality of the particular industry that you're in. You are going to have attrition. So the question is, what's acceptable? Therein lies, I think, the quandary. If you don't have that inclusive workforce and you don't make it a goal, and you don't reflect that goal in your business processes, my fundamental belief is the talk and the walk have to match. And the walk of diversity is about change management. It's about business process innovation. It is not about handouts. It's about handshakes. Period. End of story. And I'm here 9 years out to tell you that you can talk all the diversity talk you want, but if at the end of the day you're espousing these views and your business process as an organization has not changed materially, you will not succeed. And it's interesting to me that in every other area of business, right? I come out of the corporate world. We understand business process, we understand change management, but we think that those rules do not apply when it comes to D&I. I'm here to tell you that they do apply. And the great interesting dichotomy of my industry is that we are the ones that led the way on the cases that led to diversity in the courtroom, led to diversity in education, right? I just had the chance of meeting Justice Marshall's son, telling us a story of running around the courtroom with his dad, doing all these great things. That was fascinating to me. But yet, somehow, we tend to think that we're not biased, we're lawyers, right? We're very fair people. It's interesting to me. We use bias to select juries, right? We use bias as a tool when we argue cases in front of jurors, when we use different techniques to select jurors to negotiate, to sit at a table with a Japanese company and know where you have to sit. That's all part of this understanding of culture and bias, right? But yet, when it comes to retention, we think that the rules don't apply. I think, Quentin, that the wave of diversity 2.0 is going to be a much more sophisticated, dialogue involving the application of business process engineering, change management, and the principles that you teach her at the school as a discipline to what is otherwise considered a social science and a nice, worthy corporate social responsibility goal. I completely disagree with that. This is not, it's more than that. It's more than corporate social responsibility. It's got to make sense to the bottom line. You have to integrate it into the business process. You have to reward performance on these types of issues. And it has to become the fiber, the DNA, if you will, of the organization if it's going to succeed. And I'm not here to tell you that we do it perfectly. We don't. I'm here to tell you that we're giving it our best shot to understand, to teach, and to really get our grasp around what are those pressure points, right, that are going to make a difference. What are the metrics that matter? Is it head counts? No. Heads can change. and you can play the game. That's not the inclusive culture that my colleagues are talking about. That beautiful person at the end, spoke so eloquently about and fought for. Okay, I had this dialogue right before I got on the phone today at 12 o'clock when I left my home to come here to you guys with one of the most preeminent voices in diversity. Her name is Paulette Brown. She was the president of the APA. We were talking about this very issue. Diversity 2.0 is about much more than headcounts. Thank you.